Welcome, and thank you for joining us for today's DealerOn webinar, where an expert from Google tells us all how to rock your fixed ops digital marketing. My name is Eliana Raggio, and I'll be your moderator today. Today's webinar is being presented by DealerOn. For anyone who isn't familiar with DealerOn, well, we're an award-winning website development company and digital agency, best known for our amazing SEO, the best customer service, and the highest converting website designs in the industry, including the brand new Chameleon responsive website platform. We're so committed to lead conversion, optimization, and customer service that DealerOn is still the only company in the industry that offers a money-back lead guarantee program. Does your website company guarantee you a 50% lift in leads or your money back? Well, maybe you should check us out at our gorgeous brand new DealerOn website at DealerOn.com. Hey, I also want to let you know DealerOn is going to be hosting another Top Golf event. This time it's in Dallas, Texas. It's on Wednesday, October 5th. Yes, let me just tell you about this. It is golf. It is Google, and it is cocktails. That, my friends, is a recipe for awesomeness. So if you'd like more info on this amazing event, please check out the tinyurl.com link that's on the screen now. That's tinyurl.com/TG Dallas webinar. Oh, and I should mention, all of this stuff, the Google, the golf, and the cocktails, it's free. That's right. So we hope you can make it. We hope to see you there. And we have a great show in store for you today. We're very pleased to have Andrew Diffenderfer as our presenter today. Andrew Diffenderfer is a Google Automotive Retail Strategist based in the Northeast. Driven by a lifelong passion for automobiles, he helps dealerships and manufacturers engage with the end users while advising on Google's wide array of marketing solutions to achieve the best ROI. Andrew has spent his entire career in the automotive vertical, working at manufacturers, dealerships, and full-service advertising agencies. He is a graduate of Mount St. Mary's University with a degree in business management and a master's of business administration, and he can be reached on Twitter at @TheRealDiff. Now, during the presentation, if you have any questions, please use the question feature located on the corner of your screen to submit them. At the end of the presentation, we'll answer those questions of general interest. If we're unable to get to your question live, we're going to try to respond by email later today. Also, don't forget, a link to download a copy of this webinar recording will also be emailed to you later today for your reference, and please feel free to share it with your friends and colleagues. Oh, and guess what? Our good friends at Google, they're giving away some amazing prizes today on the webinar. 3 of you lucky webinar attendees will win a Google Chromecast. That's for watching all your favorite online videos on your TV screen. It's an awesome prize, especially with the holidays right around the corner. Now, you have to be on the live broadcast to win it, though, so stay tuned, and who knows, you could be one of the people winning this amazing prize today. Also, at the conclusion of this webinar, you're going to receive a short survey. So please fill it out because we're always looking for quality feedback from your audience. And we want to know what you think, so let your opinion be heard. And hey, do you tweet much? We hope you do. We'd love to see what you have to say about today's presentation. So please tag us in it. You can use #DealerOnWebby. I'm at Eliana Raggio. You can also hit up Andrew Diffenderfer at @TheRealDiff. We look forward to seeing what you're saying. So let's get started. Let's listen as an expert from Google tells us all how to rock your fixed ops digital marketing. Andrew, or should I call you the Diff? How you doing, Diff?
I'm great, thank you. That I got to figure out the energy in the voice and getting things rolling. That is how you kick a meeting off. I love it.
Well, thank you very much. And now I'm not going to mince words. I saw Andrew give this presentation before, and I was like, you have to do the show. You have to, and share all of this amazingness. So he is here with us today. People, strap in. You are in for a wild hour. Andrew, I'm not going to hold you back anymore because I know you have a ton of information to get to, and I'm so happy you're here. So thank you so much, and let's get rolling. Where do we start?
Cool. We're going to get things rolling here. Welcome to everyone. Thank you for taking time. I know lunch is an important part of the day, so I thank all of you for spending your time with me here. We're going to get things rolling, and if there's anything, questions along the way, shoot at the chat. We have a lot of information here, and we're going to go ahead and kick things off with a little video to kind of set the mood. So we'll go ahead and get rolling with that right now.
For the people out there wondering what this is all about. Whether it's about courage or controversy, well, I'll tell you what it's all about. It's about what happens from here. about one person. It's about thousands of people. It's about all of us. Accepting one another.
This morning, the Supreme Court recognized that the Constitution guarantees marriage equality.
We're all different. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. And while it may not be easy to get past the things you don't always understand, it is absolutely possible if we only do it together. Just do it!
Wow, that's a great video.
All right, guys. So, Google on search is still the platform of intent, and you're probably like, how does all that relate to fixed operations marketing? Well, there's a lot of good stuff to cover, so we're going to go over as much as we possibly can today. We're going to talk about a path to purchase. Every year, Google, we do a big study on automotive highlights and path to purchase to see what consumers are doing in the market and how they're reacting to different trends, different products, etc. So we're going to do some high-level pieces on that, talk a little bit about mobile, go into website, some video considerations, and then some key takeaways. So where do we start? So this is an interesting stat. So high level, consumer research time is definitely going up. So you look at this, people are spending close to 17 hours researching a car purchase. Interesting stat here, people research cars more than they do major surgeries. So if you can imagine, people are spending more time to buy a product from you or a service from you more than they figure out about having a major surgery in their life. That is pretty interesting. Real estate is up there, cars are close second, but it's massive. 89% of people are in market for 3 months or less. So what does this mean? Well, the time that they're in market at 3 months or less is going up. So they want a more linear path to purchase. They want very seamless integration. And it's really important, one of the big things here are when people are in market for service, that's a longer time frame, and they're looking to you to make sure that they can get that service. And it's one of the best retention tools that the dealerships have. Looking at what's happening from dealership walk-ins and lot traffic, they're visiting 1 to 2 dealers versus 5 in 2005, and 56% of buyers test drive one vehicle or less. So the days of multiple test drives, one of the fastest growing categories on YouTube right now as it relates to automotive is test drives. So people are understanding the product and making a very educated decision before they even come in and physically sit in the product. So the good news is the qualified traffic at the dealership should be good, conversion rates should be going up, but when you have somebody there, the conversation is probably much different and much more linear because they want to get in, get the car, and they understand the product. Now, this is across all brands and all manufacturers, so there may be some nuances with different brands, but again, this is just looking at the overall lens. So 65% of people switched from previous brand owned to a different car. That's massive. 25% stayed brand loyal and 10% were a first-time buyer. So what does this mean? Well, one of the biggest things that we can do is people are not brand loyal anymore. Just because I bought a Subaru for the past 10 years doesn't mean I'm going to go buy one for my next car. And what's really interesting about this is people are less brand loyal, but they're more loyal to products and services that save them time. So fixed operations is becoming, in my opinion, one of the biggest focal areas where you have to begin to engage with the consumer. And we have to think about this as it's a big profit center of the dealership, but it's also critically important that you're ensuring your customers can find how that profit center can help them. They want to have a great experience when they come to you. They want to have a seamless experience. They want to know the people that are touching their car. And that will drive brand loyalty because many cars are very competitive now. Everything, has a lot of technology in it. There's a great product. Cars run for a long period of time. And the way that we can keep them loyal is through making sure that we ensure a seamless, timely fixed operations experience. 72% of research is spent on brand comparison. So you know, people are not brand loyal, and they're spending a ton of time looking at what they believe will fit their needs. Why does this happen? Well, I think it's fair to say in this day and age that people, when they step into that moment, when they say, I want to buy a vehicle or I need service for my vehicle, they are basically opening up very broad terms. Most fuel-efficient sedan. Most fuel-efficient sedan with all-wheel drive. Most comfortable SUV. Safest family vehicle. I mean, you can imagine the amount of information that one could retract from those type of searches, so that's what's driving research time. So again, very high level, but it's important to understand this because we all want to talk about how we can retain our customers and make them lifelong customers of the dealership, which will drive brand loyalty, and that back door is service. But it's really important to understand who's your target audience. You know, 10 years ago, this was much more difficult. Today, we can understand who our target audience is. We can look at everybody and say, hey, this guy drives a Ford and he may need service soon. Planning to move to the burbs next year. Lease is up in the fall, thinking about an upgrade in mile per gallon. I'm searching for a bigger car compared to the other one because I had a baby. That was me. And, you know, we were in there and literally my wife and I were not shopping by brand. We were shopping by what we believed was bigger, fuel efficient, and could fit our needs. And ultimately, we ended up going to the dealership that gave us the best experience. And one of the big things that we discuss at Google is, you know, a lot of people say, is search dying, what's going on? And it's still the platform of intent. It's the #1 entry point when anyone does anything. And it's also one of the biggest drivers of sources to your website. Incoming traffic is roughly across all automotive brands about 44.3%. So the news here is if you're not maximizing your search intent and your search budgets within your market, you really need to, because it drives traffic, and correctly understanding those customers that we just discussed, it will convert for you. So what we have is when shopping becomes important. So obviously we're talking about that 3 months prior. Basically, look at the share of search volume when they're a month into purchase. So that traffic that is hitting your dealership websites, whether it be service or sales, is certainly intending on doing something with you. It's just in our court to make sure that we capitalize on it. What's fueling these two areas? Well, the biggest thing is mobile and video. Mobile, we're going to talk about it a little bit, but it hit its magic moment last year for automotive. Over 54% of the searches done in the automotive vertical came from a mobile device. So, you know, Google is a mobile-first company. Everything we're doing is to develop, making sure that we understand how we can better and more linearly connect the customer to the end product using mobile devices. The other big growing area is video, and obviously on YouTube. You look at the categories of product walk-around, how-to videos, or do-it-myself videos as it relates to service, and then you take a look at your product knowledge and test drives. Those areas within automotive represent a massive amount of opportunity to build awareness for your dealerships. And because people with not being brand loyal want to go find where they can get things, and they want to understand what they look like, and they want to watch videos about it, and they like to do it in high res on their TV, on their computer, and on their mobile screen. So there's opportunity to get in front of these customers and get your name and your product out there. The number, 220% year-over-year growth in auto video watch time. So that is massive. People are consuming YouTube. I mean, if we took a survey and figured out how many videos you watch on a day on your phone, I think we'd all probably, you know, there's probably somebody out there watching a YouTube video right now while I'm talking, and I get it. We're multi-screen, multitask, and we want to do things, and somebody's eating a sandwich and watching a funny video, and this is not, we're not talking about like crazy cat videos here. We're talking about automotive videos that speak specifically to our industry. So it provides a virtual showroom. And we just talked about this, test drives, highlights, and walkthrough of product exterior. The things that salespeople can do and still should do at the dealership are happening on YouTube. The great thing for the dealerships is that the qualified traffic is much, much, much more. So where does this all go? More time, majority in the market are uncertain which model they're going to buy. They're considering more vehicles, fewer dealer visits, and when they purchase, they switch brands. So everyone's probably thinking, I signed up for a fixed ops thing. What does this all have to do with fixed ops? Well, the reality is again, fixed ops is the glue that is going to hold this whole thing together. Because if we know all this is going on, it gives us a lot of opportunities to wow people with a customer experience and make them loyal to the brand and, more importantly, loyal to the dealership. So that you can do numerous transactions over a longer period of time, ensuring you're fitting their wants and needs. People touch a lot of things. 24 average touch points last year, 19 of those were digital. My favorite one on here is 19 of these digital touch points, the digital newspaper site. Think about that for a second. You used to have a, sit down, figure out your print ad, figure out what it's going to look like, share it with the sales team on a Saturday morning sales meeting, and hope that some traffic came in. Flip side of the conversation is now is what are you doing on your local digital newspaper website that people are reading on their tablet every Saturday morning, or every morning for that matter, to ensure that your brand's out there talking about your customer experience. Dealership and online, roughly 35 million dealership visits last year, 350 million auto-related dealership searches. So it's massive, the amount of content that people are trying to figure out about automobiles. How much did consumers spend in auto care in 2015? The question, $340 billion.
Ooh.
Big number, right? A lot of opportunity. Of this, OEMs and dealers only capture about $97 billion, or less than 30%. So fixed operations is the new focal point. And I'm sure there's people that are like, my service director doesn't want to have a marketing budget and he thinks that should come from sales. Well, it's important because there's a lot of people playing in our sandbox. And who are those people? High awareness. There's some familiar names on this list. If every one of you did an oil change search for your brand relative to your market right now, I guarantee you probably one of these independents or third-party providers would come up. And they are looking to make sure that you did a very nice job selling them the car. They're looking to service the car. And you may say, well, why do you care, Google? Why do you care if my dealership is in the middle of this list? Well, the reality is we care because if somebody searches for a Ford F-150 oil change near me, they fully intend on getting their Ford F-150 oil change at a Ford dealership. It's just there's other people marketing to them from a conquest perspective that are giving them a better experience. And we care about that because we want the customer's intent to be matched with their result and their relevancy to what they searched. So it's really important that this part of the dealership come to life in the fixed operations capacity. When you look at high awareness with low familiarity, people are familiar with other brands, but the dealership service center, this starts day one when they purchase the car, making sure that the customer has the opportunity to walk into the service drive and shake hands with who's going to be their service advisor. Because what happens is people begin researching massively when they need service. They look to the search engines, and then the dealership runs neck and neck with automotive store service websites and dealership websites. Then you talk to family and friends, you talk to the dealership, you get some flyers, you maybe see some stuff in the mailbox. But from a profitability standpoint, we can do more transactions and have a better impact on retention. I'm very visual, so I like to look at things at a capacity that puts it out there that we understand. So what happens is that when people buy a car that first month, we say, hey, oh my gosh, thank you so much for buying this new Chevy Silverado. We love you. Please come back for your free oil change. We're the top-rated Silverado dealer in the market, and we'd love to see you so that we can make sure that we take care of you, and here's a free oil change. Come see us. So as we communicate at the beginning of the lifespan of this customer, a lot of contact builds loyalty. Frequency, communication, awareness will build loyalty. But as contact goes down, repair dollars begin to go up. And when repair dollars go up, we kind of luck into getting these customers a lot of times. This yellow bar represents, in my opinion, the sweet spot. How do you have the ability to make sure that you're talking to your customers at the ideal time so that when they are loyal and they need that big service job, or they need a 30K or a 60K or a transmission job or a larger warranty claim, you're there for them. They shouldn't, at this point, 24 to 36 months out, be discovering you for the first time, and we can help with that. Because in today's world, people are in market all the time. There's pre-market moments, in-market moments, and post-market moments. And it works very simply at the dealership. I come in, I come in, think I need an oil change and a tire rotation. Technician pulls off my tires, rotates them, and he says, oh my gosh, I noticed that his front brake pads are worn. We probably should recommend that this service or next service you should replace your front brake pads. Well, you just put me in market for brake pads if my service advisor recommends that. I pull out my phone, I look at average mileage that I should change my brake pads, and the mileage matches what the technician's recommending, and I go ahead and decide to do this service. And now I'm in a post-market moment where hopefully I can leave that dealership a great review because I went in for an oil change and tire rotation and I got a fairly priced brake job that happened and they were able to schedule me at the dealership. This is happening all the time. People are always considering buying something or they're always after buying something. So with that, we are going to go into our first poll question.
Ooh, I love it. All right, audience, guess what? We got 2 poll questions for you today. The first one is on your screen now. We'd love it if you take part in our poll questions. Lets us know what's happening at your dealership as well as dealerships all across the country. All right, so the first poll question is, what percentage of your monthly marketing budget is dedicated solely to fixed operations marketing? Please select one of the following answers. Is it less than 10%? Somewhere between 10 and 15%, somewhere between 15 and 20%, maybe it's around 25%, or are you one of those rare ones that spend more than 30% of your monthly marketing budget just for fixed operations marketing? Once we get a majority of votes in, we're going to close the poll and share the results. And Diff, I wanted to let you know, we have already a lot of great questions that have come in. So I hope you get settled in nice and comfy in your chair because I think we're going to have a great Q&A session. And of course, if you haven't gotten in your questions yet for Andrew Diffenderfer from Google, don't worry, you still have some time. Get those questions in. We'll be getting to the Q&A session after Andrew's presentation. All right, everyone, let's close this poll and share the results. Thank you, everyone, for voting. This poll is closed. Here we go, everyone. What percentage of your monthly marketing budget is dedicated to fixed operations marketing? Well, let me tell you, half of today's audience, 50% in fact, said that it's less than 10%. 30% of today's audience say they spend somewhere between 10% and 15% of their monthly budget just on fixed ops. 11% of today's audience say it's more like 15 to 20%, and a rare 9% of today's audience say they spend about 25% of their monthly marketing budget on fixed operations marketing alone. And no one, of course, said that it was more than 30%. Andrew, does this help you out? Is this the information that you thought you'd see?
It's great information, and I think we all see the trend here. It's coming. You know, the SAR is not going to be at the number that it has continued to rise at, and we have an obligation to retain our customers. So that's why this is great that we're all here talking about it today. So thank you so much.
What would be your recommendation? If you were to tell dealers, you know, you really should be spending this much of your monthly marketing budget on fixed ops, do you have a number in mind?
It's, in my opinion, it's a crawl, walk, run. You know, we live in a society that we're able to understand what impact that we have from our marketing efforts. I really, in a perfect world, I'd like to see marketing budgets tied to percentage of dealership profitability. Logically, it makes sense to invest in where your largest profits come from, and traditionally we do not do that. And it is about getting, you know, people in cars, but the conversation around retention has to be driven by fixed operation marketing. And just from our perspective, the volume of searches that are happening, last year the number was 800 million searches around service-related queries.
Wow.
For automotive, and the space is very fragmented. And it's also one of the highest converting things that you can do, because just like when you go grab a gallon of milk at their local grocery store, it's very similar to a customer when they want to get their car serviced. They want to go to the brand that's closest to them that provides the most convenience. And they do see value in genuine factory service. It's just our job to make sure that we're intercepting them when they need it.
Now, this is interesting because Diane, while she asked the same question that I did, she followed up with, but dealers base their marketing budgets on car sales and has nothing to do with fixed ops. So should dealers be putting, you know, X amount of money aside for each car that they plan on selling?
I would say let's, again, continue to shift the thinking. Look at repair orders. What's the marketing budget per repair order, and what are your goals? And, you know, there's still a need. I'm not saying there's not a need for a sales marketing budget, but this, in my opinion, to combat and build retention, you have to shift that conversation. And a good way to do that is begin with your digital marketing strategy and segment it from there. While digital may only be X percentage of your total marketing budget, what percentage of your digital is dedicated to fixed operations marketing? And it's a really, really, really good way that you can begin to understand what people in your market are looking for, what keywords and what types of services for your brand are driving traffic to the website, and then how you're converting on that traffic. And if you get 10 website visitors that search for brake-like queries, and then you can step into understanding that of those 10 visitors, 3 people filled out forms and you had 2 people come in for the brake job or call in via an appointment, you can back into an ROI on that. And that's where we want to go. Great question.
Great question, Diane. Keep those great questions coming. Oh boy, they're going to be putting you on the spot a little bit later on, Andrew. You should see some of these questions that are coming in. But thank you for the comment, Diane. And Andrew, please take it away.
Great. Thanks, guys. So let's talk a little bit about mobile and how it relates and why mobile is such a big driver with fixed operations. So I'm going to share another little video with you guys, and then we will jump into it.
grinding sound when you turn the key.
God,
All right.
Diff, you're making me cry with these great videos. Holy moly. They're really good.
That was my son at the end. No, I'm totally kidding. Totally kidding. No, but I mean, I think we all step back and we see what happened there in that minute and a half, and it's very, very true. And what we like to say is we don't go online, we live online, and we do it in micro moments, and we do it on multiple devices on multiple screens every single day. The fact of thinking that we wouldn't have our phone with us, and what does your phone provide now? It's a phone, it's a map, it's a shopping tool, it's a location device, it's an MP3 player, it's a camera, and it's this whole thing that encompasses how we live and what we do. And God forbid the battery die, or you not have a data connection, right? So it's here, and it's here to stay, and it's only growing. As I said, 54% of in-market searches are coming from mobile devices. So this is happening. It's grown exponentially every year. But mobile is the champion in driving leads. And this isn't just a millennial, a Gen X, a Gen Y. It's everyone. The largest growth is in the ages of 18 to 44, but 38% of all ages use a mobile device to research a service center. So this is pretty powerful data. And we always like to say, what are they looking at? So I understand they're out there, but this is where you can really get into the tactical portion of what we do. They're looking for stores, hours, and operations. Pretty easy, but pretty logical. I'm in my car. What time is the dealership open? Or I'm going to go in Saturday. I want to call. How's that going to work? 35% looked up pricing information. So one of the things that we always highlight is that when you look at your dealership website right now from a fixed operations perspective. I'm sure everyone has this month, and as we roll into October here, I'm sure everyone's had the ability to say, hey, let's make sure that the new car incentives came out. We got to get our lease offers done. We got to get that APR highlighted. There's a certified pre-owned APR that we want to talk about. Before you know it, you have 50 banners on your webpage talking about everything that you can do from a new car sales perspective. Well, 31% of people are looking for discounts or offers. And having a spring oil change coupon on the service portion of your website at this time of the year coming into the fall probably is not the best converting practice for your digital marketing strategy from a fixed ops perspective. Discounts and offers are two different things. Offer does not mean you have to discount. Discount means, yes, I want a discount. So having an offer out there, I can tell you through doing numerous dealership studies on fixed operations that I would say out of 10 dealership websites, between 6 and 7 typically land me on a page that has no ability for me to capture any type of offer. Not a discount, but no offer, no understanding of the keyword that I just searched. Next, 30% of them checked the service we're considering purchasing and looked at other locations to make it fair. So we offer fair services. It's not about $9.95 oil changes to drive business. This is people going, hey, if convenience is there, quality is there, people are giving me a great experience, I'm willing to pay for it. I just want to make sure that I'm being treated fair, which is what we all do. And then they also compare the price of the product that they're buying, so wiper blades, brake pads, etc. So 5 easy ways to get more out of mobile, and this is really important, guys. If you take anything away from this call, please, please, please take this away. And make sure that whoever you're leveraging your digital marketing strategies through as a partner, anyone can do this. Everything I'm showing here with these 5 easy ways to get more out of mobile costs you no money. It's just simply activating these extensions to ensure that it increases conversion for your digital marketing strategy. So the first one is leveraging bid modifiers to secure top positions, right? So strategically set what you can do to make sure that when somebody searches for Toyota battery near me or Toyota service center near me on a mobile device, 84% of all the clicks come from that top position that you see right there. So when somebody's searching close to you and it matches the other parameters of your search and it's on a mobile device, make sure you're in that position 1 because 84% of those are coming from that position 1. Adding site links. Again, you have a very robust website, but actually, like if somebody searches your dealership and maybe they really wanted to look at service specials, having that optimized in the actual ad copy where they can click right to that page will increase your click-through rate on that type of ad about 10 to 20%. It can be as much as 20 to 50% for brand terms. So a lot of times you get the question, hey, Diff, should we bid on our dealership name? And the answer to that is yes, because when you secure the top paid position and the top organic position within Google, your conversion rate nearly doubles because you're taking 2 pieces of real estate. And it's also a very good quality score. People don't typically understand the difference in paid and non-paid search. They want to get to you, and it's really, really important. If I want Domino's Pizza, I want Domino's Pizza, and I don't want to go have to scroll and look for it. It better be in the top position, or I'm going to click who is there. So defend it, own it, and it's very, very effective spend. Enable call extensions, calls, calls, calls. So people really don't want to go through much work to get in contact with you. So the faster that they can click on a call button, and this is just called a mobile call extension, the faster and the faster they get to you will increase your conversion rate about 6 to 8%. And then help customers find you. You know, we all use our mobile devices as a map, and being able to launch that map from your paid search ads, again, this doesn't cost anything. These are just extensions that need it enabled. If they're enabled, they will work both on desktop and on mobile. So you can do it once, and what will happen is the algorithm will pick up which of these extensions is actually most relevant to that search, and it will enable that extension during that time. And then you can basically also increase bids for how close that device would be to your dealership. I would argue that somebody that's within 10 miles of the dealership searching for your brand's oil change is somebody you'd want to bid a little bit more on than somebody that's 35 to 40 miles out. It's just a better use of the dollar. Okay, so what about our websites? Again, 75% of auto purchaser research is spent on digital, and the #1 source still used is dealership websites. We lead the way, and when people are ready to convert and take action, they're using our websites. So this brings us to a best practice. Who is your dealership digital quarterback? who is sitting at your dealership saying, hey, as I'm here and I'm having my Saturday morning managers meeting or I'm having my executive level meeting, who's the person saying, hey, we just had 373 people visit our oil change special that we ran in paid search this weekend. Does anyone know at the dealership, because we had about 300 visitors to that page, how many of these coupons we actually saw in the service lane so we can track our conversion here? Because if this is working, it appears it might be a good strategy to drive traffic on slower dealership days. Or if you look at it from a sales perspective, hey, we had 455 VDP views on that 2010 Outback XT, and I noticed that it didn't look like the doors were open on it this weekend. So who's the analyst at the dealership that's working with all the departments and ensuring that accountability is held for what people are looking for? Because oftentimes that can tell you a lot about what's going on in the dealership. And you got to structure it for success. So, this person is going to be accountable. This isn't the youngest guy at the dealership who has the most Twitter followers. That's not the person to do this. This is somebody that's going to understand analytics, that's going to have a want and a need for a marketing strategy and understand how they can convert and drive more traffic to the dealership. Are you providing seamless experience for your customers on your website? It's really, really interesting because anywhere from 2 to 10% of our websites are dedicated to parts and service. The remaining piece is basically dedicated to sales. So, a sales VDP page, we give them everything. We give them the price, we give them the discount, we give them the scheduled appointment, we give them pictures, compare other cars in inventory, all this great, great information that we find. And then when we move to the side of Toyota, and this isn't to isolate this dealer by any means, this happens all the time, it's just an area of opportunity. There's a lot of information here, but no real ability to do anything. And when we do try and schedule service, the average dealer is about 10 steps. Enter your information, enter it again because it didn't remember me, then create your online account if you would want to do that. Select your vehicle, which I hope you would have with me since you know my name and my phone number and my email address. Forerunner, wait,
Like
now
the
we got
make,
Camry.
the year, I see it, yeah.
And then we got mileage. And, I mean, we're all probably like, oh my gosh, Diff, is there another slide on this? And this isn't any specific person's fault or function. We, as an industry, have made this difficult. And the reality is that I can go to the dentist and I can schedule it on their website, and they send me a text and they send it to me all the time to make sure that I'm still coming tomorrow so that if I can't come, they can fit someone else in. And we have the ability to do this, but it's putting a focal point on how we do this because it will drive more sales and more retention down the road for the dealership. So if we're going to have the meeting with our team, here's some simple questions. What percentage of the website's dedicated to fixed op? Do I have web pages for the service I provide? Are they able to schedule an appointment with ease, and can they do it from a mobile device? And how long does it take? Am I able to track how many people schedule an appointment at the dealership as a result of my ads? And do we give appointment confirmation? Do I make it easy for my customers to find parts online? There are still a lot of do-it-yourselfers out there, but they want to use genuine parts, and it's tough to find it because Amazon makes it a lot easier to find an oil filter sometimes than we do as dealers. Which will move us to our next poll question.
And I like this poll question too. All right, audience, second and final poll question is on the screen now. We'd love it. Like I said, go out there and vote. Let me see what's going on at your dealership, all right? Let's help out Andrew, so he loves getting more data from all of us. All right, the question is, on average, what percentage of dealer websites do you think is dedicated just to fixed ops? Please select one. Do you believe that on average dealer websites only put about less than 10% of their website just dedicated to fixed ops? Do you think it's 10 to 20%, 20 to 30%? Do you think it's more than 30%? Or do you think it's 100%? Wahaha. Just kidding. We know it's not 100%. Okay, on average, what percentage of dealer websites do you think are dedicated to fixed ops? Once we get a majority of, oh, we already do have a majority of the votes in. All right. Let's wait a few more seconds, see if any more votes come in. Audience, thank you so much.
Guys.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. Do you have, don't answer yet, but do you have like actual data on this?
We have minimal amount of data because the path to purchase study has been more focused around sales. I'm advocating for 2016 that we will have hard numbers on this because I think it's critically important.
Okay, very well done. All right, thank you, audience, so much for your votes. And let's share the results. Okay, 65% of today's audience believe that they think less than 10% of dealer websites are dedicated to fixed ops. So that's the majority. 31% of today's audience think, hey, maybe there's some dealer websites out there that are like 10 to 20% dedicated to fixed ops. And only 4% of today's audience believe it's somewhere between 20% and 30%. No one thinks it's more than 30%. Certainly no one picked the last answer either. And hey, Diff, if you had to guess, what do you think is the percentage of dealership websites that are dedicated to fixed ops?
I think we're seeing a move right around that 10% to 20%. It's actually a little bit of a loaded question because there are websites, not dealer websites, that are 100% dedicated to service, and they're all the independent shops and third parties that we compete with on a daily basis. So just, again, get the wheels turning, think about ways that we can leverage things to change things, and, you know, the opportunity is there.
Okay, back to you. And audience, if you have any questions for Andrew Diffenderfer, we're going to be closing out the presentation soon. So get those questions in for the Q&A session. Thanks so much.
All right, guys, we are on the home stretch. So let's talk a little bit about video. You saw the rapid growth in video, but how does that work with fixed operations? Are you leveraging online video to get in the consideration set? So this isn't a conversation of traditional is worse and digital is better. No, 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 not at all. There are some really good messaging that you can do on both of these mediums, but the challenge that we have, and right now is a great example, is how is a dealership right now supposed to compete with live TV programming on NFL Monday Night Football, given the heavy climate with political elections? And there's a way, and it's by leveraging online video, because it's a best ROI for you, and it gives accountability into the campaign. And there's a great app. I'd recommend all of you to check it out. It's called YouTube Director. And YouTube Director will walk you through how to create your own online video campaigns for YouTube and allow you to target audiences. Investment level is completely up to you, but it really, really gives that personal touch to what you're trying to do in your local market for personalization. So I highly recommend that you check that out. That's YouTube Director app. So why video? Research, 33% of drivers actively see video content for fixed operations. 61% said an online video made them aware of business they didn't previously consider, and 34% of customers said that led to a retailer that they visited in person. So just being there, you know, 3 out of 10 customers may pick up your business information by simply being an online video. Where's it happening at? Well, you know, parts and service customers are consuming video mainly on YouTube. Auto retailers, general stores, auto store websites, and then there is some movement in Facebook. And, you know, I want to pause there real quick. A lot of people say, well, what's the difference in Facebook video and YouTube video? And it's just how your impressions are. So impressions on Facebook, when you're scrolling through the feed, those impressions are captured and counted as impressions. Impressions for YouTube are not counted unless the video is fully viewed. And if the video is not fully viewed and somebody clicks skip, you do not pay for it. So we have a lot of great content out there about automotive-specific YouTube content that we're going to be sharing a lot of in 2017. So I'll be out there a lot, so I hope to see a lot of you and can talk about it. But, you know, target fixed ops customers and only pay when someone sees your ad in full. So this is what I was just talking about. And, you know, you can really get the clicks to the website without much cost. So it's very, very, very effective. Little case study with TrueView, Rick Case group down in Florida. They put in about $1,000 and they had 68,000 partial views or impressions of their ad. They had 11,000 or 17% of completed ones. The cost for you was about $8 and they drove 621 website clicks to their website for $1,000. So it's pretty powerful. But what does this look like? So this is just, I'm going to talk through this a little bit. So somebody goes in and does a little video on how to change your own engine oil. So imagine this query happens in your market, and boom, we got a DIY, do-it-yourself car maintenance, how to do this. Okay, handyman site. Again, did we notice that there was no paid service advertising there for any dealership because it was a very broad match? But I thought, what about video here? So I click videos, and we have all these videos on how to change your own engine oil. This is Eric the car guy. So Eric changes oil. This video at that point had 795,000 views, and it's an 18-minute video on how to change your own engine oil. I think Eric's doing a great job. He's leveraging the YouTube platform. But imagine if during that somebody typed in your brand's oil change and they made it to this video, and you had the ability of thinking of changing your own engine oil. Come to see ABC Toyota and why we're better, and we use genuine parts and service, all for the same low cost. Click here to take advantage of this today. Now they can still watch the video, and in 15 seconds you conveyed a message to them that was relevant. And the big thing here is certainly relevancy. You know, there's no reason to continue serving ads that are not relevant to people. They will not get consumed. So just a quick overview. Check that out in your market, see how it works. And a recap, do you have a parts and service videos on your website? You know, a lot of manufacturers have spent a lot of time creating video content that talk about why it's important to rotate your tires, why it's important to have a factory maintenance. Take that content from YouTube and frame it into your website. It's a low-cost, free way to get more conversion on the site. Are you running video ads, and how are you targeting? And then how are you being charged? Is it cost per impression or cost per view? TrueView, YouTube is all cost per view, not via the impression. So key takeaways, guys, is that right now, just during this awesome webinar, we have had 313,000 auto searches since the beginning of this presentation. So it's, you know, the numbers get a little staggering.
What?
And it's what piece of the pie do you want to participate in? And, you know, as we begin to look into this, there's some key takeaways, and they are to make sure that you're aligning your desktop and mobile. Mobile's the champion driving everything. Consumers want a seamless experience. Utilize those ad extensions. You'll get a copy of this presentation. I encourage everyone to work with whoever's monitoring your digital marketing and checking this. I always say, are you analyzing your digital marketing strategy the same way that you would analyze a 30-second radio script? And if we are, we're going to get a lot more effectiveness out of this. Consider a video marketing strategy that builds value in OEM or factory maintenance versus independent or third parties. Place time above cost. If someone is willing to do the work efficiently and correctly, they're willing to pay more for it. And organize your marketing budget with your departmental revenue. So at the end of the day, everybody's seen Ken Block? I'm a big car guy. Love cars. Ken Block is an amazing driver. But what we're trying to do at Google is we have recognized that automotive is a little bit different than a lot of other verticals that we serve as a company. So my team is an automotive retail team, and we are here as advocates to make sure that when a customer has to execute the perfect turn, or the perfect 360 in this case is Ken Block, or slide under this Ford Raptor that he's about ready to slide under, he gets a lot of the credit, and you guys are out there on the front lines making sure every day that you're servicing and doing the best job you can for your customers. But we want you to know that when the time comes in to slide in there and make sure that you can capture that customer, that we are basically like the pit crew behind you. And we want to be there to make sure that you're picking the right keywords, you're getting the right tire combination, you're getting the right new car percentage, you're getting the right fixed operations. You'll see a lot more presence in the industry over the upcoming months and into 2017 from the Google Automotive Retail team. We do work across every manufacturer and every brand. So we're really here to help you and also get feedback from you on ways that we can better improve our presence and better improve the way that we are working within the automotive industry. So with that, I will turn this back over. I think we are right on spot time. And thank you all so much for taking time out of your day to join me. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Andrew. Now, audience, we are going to be getting to your questions. If you have some questions for Andrew Diffenderfer from Google, now's the time to get them in. We're going to get to those questions in just a minute. Before we do that, I want to bring your attention over to the handouts section of the GoToWebinar interface. In there, you're going to see one amazing handout. That's right, it's the slide deck that Andrew just went over with you. So if you would like to download Andrew Diffenderfer's slide deck from today, now's the time to do that. That feature will be available to you until the end of the broadcast. So make sure you get your download done right now. Before we go any further though, oh, it's one of my favorite times of the day. That's right, if you missed it at the beginning of the webinar, well, we're giving away some prizes. I announced our good friends over at Google. They're giving away 3 Google Chromecasts to 3 different webinar attendees. I'm sorry, 1 to each one, all right? So if you're watching out there, guess what? These Chromecasts, you can go to the next slide. I'm sorry, Andrew. If you're watching out there, this Google Chromecast will allow you to watch all your favorite online videos on your TV screen. It is So cool. Sold out as soon as Google Chromecast was released by Google. You're definitely going to want one of these if you don't already. Hey, you know what, too? Makes a great gift, all right? Great stocking stuffer as well. So all you have to do is get to your keyboards, get ready. First one to answer a prize question correctly will be a winner. And we want to wish everyone good luck. We do want to, of course, ask the vendors on the call, if there are any vendors out there, to please sit this out. This prize is intended for dealership personnel only, but of course we always welcome you to the DealerOn webinars. And here we go. Good luck, everyone. All right, people are writing funny stuff in. All right, good luck, everyone. And hey, if you're a winner, I need you to write in, let me know what dealership you're from, city and state, and then I'm also going to need a mailing address from you, so make sure you send that in as well. No, we love you vendors. I always love you vendors. Don't say that. Just the prize is intended for dealership people. I'm sorry. Okay, here we go, everyone. Good luck. According to Google's Automotive Path to Purchase study, what percentage of car buyers test drive one vehicle or less? Okay, let's see. I got to scroll up. All you people answered all at once. Woo, that's a lot of... Okay, first person to write in the correct response is Brad Paschal. B-Rad, how you doing? You are today's winner. You are the first one to write in 56%. Congratulations, Brad. Brad, I'm writing your name down, making it official. Brad, write on in. Give me a mailing address and all the other goodies that I asked for. Looking forward to sending out that Google Chromecast to you. It's going to come directly from our friends at Google. All right, guess what, audience? You got 2 more chances to win a prize. Here we go. Good luck, everyone. I love it. All right, good luck, everyone. Here we go. Again, according to Google's Automotive Path to Purchase study, what percent of in-market searches are coming from mobile devices? Stuart Bendall. First person to write in got it correct. 54%. Congratulations, Stuart. That's a name I've not seen on my screen before. Are you a first-time watcher? Well, you're a first-time winner, that's for sure. Stuart Bendall, what dealership are you from? And give me a mailing address as well so I can give you a proper congratulations. And Stuart is with Auto Canada. Congratulations. Yes, the answer was 54%. All right. Now, Stuart, Brad, you guys are already winners, so you can sit this last question out. One last question, one last giveaway to do. All right, everyone, good luck. No, you can't have 2, Stuart. Send me your mailing address, sir, okay? All right, here we go. Name one of the extensions that you can add to your mobile advertising campaigns to increase conversion. Name one extension that you can add to your mobile advertising campaigns to increase conversion. Just so you know, there are 5. We're only looking for 1. And holy moly, I'm going to have to read through all these. Let me scroll up here and see who's the first one to get one. Nope, that is not correct. No, that's not correct. That is not correct. Oh, wait a minute. Is that correct? Wow, I'm having a hard time finding one that's correct, people. Just letting you know. Name one of the extensions that you can add to your mobile advertising campaigns to increase conversion. No, that's not it. Oh, here we go. Max None. I think mobile extensions is that correct? Can we use that? Andrew, are you there?
It's close, but there's specific ones, but I will take your lead on that one.
Yeah, I didn't think that was it either. Click to call. No. Oh, wait a minute. No. Oh, here we go. Location. Can we take location?
That's a winner.
That's a winner. Gord Mansfield was the first one to write in one of the 5 that we were looking for. Thank you very much. You know what? Just to make sure that everyone understood the answers that we were looking for, Andrew, why don't we go over these really fast? we were looking for one of the extensions that you can add to your mobile advertising campaigns to increase conversion. We were looking for bid modifiers, mobile site extension links, so I'm sorry, but mobile wasn't enough to get that, call extensions, location extensions, and location bid adjustments. Those were the 5, correct, Andrew?
That is correct.
That is correct. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for playing along. Gord Mansfield will be our 3rd winner today. He's from Saskatoon Motor Products. Congratulations, Gord. Send me your, oh, we got it. There we go. All right. So Brad Paschal, Stuart Bendel, and Gord Mansfield, congratulations. You're each going to be receiving a Google Chromecast from our friends over at Google. It'll be coming directly from them. Thank you so much for sending me your mailing addresses as well. And thank you, everyone, for playing along. I hope you had fun. And I know we only had 3 prizes to give away, and we had a lot of you on here today, but you know what? We give away cool prizes every week. So come on back to another DealerOn webinar, and who knows, that could be the week you win a cool prize from a DealerOn webinar. For right now, we're going to congratulate our winners, thank everyone for playing along, and of course, we got to thank our good friends over at Google for their incredible generosity. All right, Andrew? No. You don't get off that easily. Go back a slide. There you go.
Sorry
Now
about that.
you can turn on your webcam now. We're going to get to those questions from the audience. Are you ready? We had a lot of great questions that came in.
I am. 1 second here. We will get this going.
Okay. Now, someone, actually it was Carolyn. Carolyn wrote in, and you had said something, and then I think your microphone might have cut out a little bit, because I didn't catch it either. But she said somewhere between the search as the platform of intent slide and the number 1 that your first slide that you started talking on, you said a sentence, and it said, he said search intent and search something else, and she said, what was that something else? And I don't know if you remember what you said way back when, about 40 minutes ago.
I can, let's go back and take a look here. I'm just pulling up so back around the beginning of the presentation, search is still the platform of intent, and we were talking about that it's the entry point for people beginning to look at any consideration, but specifically with automotive, it drives 44.3% across all brands to your dealership's website. So I don't know if that 100% answers your question, but you can always shoot me a question via email as well to do that, and I'll be glad to get you the answer you need there.
Carolyn, thank you so much for the great question. Let us know if we need to expand some more on that, okay? All right. Carly has the next question. Carly says, is this 220% growth strictly YouTube growth or video as a whole?
That's just strictly on YouTube, Google's platform for video sharing. So video is growing immensely, but that number did come from YouTube. Great question.
Thank you, Carly. If you have a follow-up question, we're here for you. The next question comes from Tristan. Tristan says, what is the best way to stay in continual contact with your customers so you don't overdo it? Well, that is the trick, isn't it, Tristan? What would you suggest, Andrew?
Well, I mean, I think it's a really clear conversation about, what does the next year of marketing look like for you? As a percentage, how much direct mail do you want to do? What do you want to do from a traditional media standpoint? When's the manufacturer going to be contacting your customers? With a lot of what we talked about today, this is when the customers are seeking out us, and that has to be an always-on strategy that aligns with your business goals and how much money you want to put into your marketing effort. The good news is in today's market, we do know which dollars work in marketing, and there's still a big need for awareness. So it's important to understand the efficiencies that you have. But it's also, I really, really believe that, sitting down and defining your marketing plan and understanding seasonalities of your market is critically important. And then tailor that plan to that. Digital can be more always on, or it can be day part. You have a lot more control with digital marketing strategy than more of a traditional strategy. But when you need to get more awareness around a product or service, traditional media can be very efficient for that, so that creates consideration for you, and people can go online and begin to engage with you. So, there's key things that I believe you should do, and I think the fixed operations piece is a big need. We love it if people buy a new car every 2 to 3 years, and people service their car at least 4 times a year. So, and having that piece figured out is critically important.
All right, thank you so much for that. Carly, if you have a follow-up question, we're here for you. All right, next question. I'm sorry, that was for Tristan, excuse me. Tristan, if you have a follow-up question, we're here for you. Okay, next, well, actually, it's more like a statement. Brad wrote in, he says, with regards to video, our text the customers with a video to show exactly what needs to be done. I like that idea. I think that's great. Although I have to say, when my videos come through on text, they're like so small, like smaller than a dime. Like it doesn't take up the whole screen. So that annoys me. But other than that, I think it's a great idea. Okay, Carly has the next question. She says, is one portion of digital marketing better at generating an ROI for fixed ops? Oh, I love this question. Whether that can be search, display, or social. Oh, she's putting you on the spot, Andrew. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great question. I think they all can be effective. You have to analyze, where you're going to, is it oil changes, is it brakes, is it tires, is it factory maintenance? That's the first thing. Display, when you're looking at an ROI on display, that's more of a, in my opinion, a branding effort. So if after somebody searched, clicked, and probably came to your website, being able to retarget them and ensure value in your dealership and or factory service is really critical. And certainly social has a place in this. I think your social interaction from a fixed operations perspective is allowing customers to share their great experience with you. That can happen somewhat in search if you have review extensions in there about your service department, but having that customer testimonial and social proof has a very big place in ensuring how you do that. And that could be a sponsored marketing strategy through various social media networks of video testimonials from happy service customers at your dealership. That would be probably a really good way to build that awareness that we talked about. But when people are in need of something, you want to stick back to that intent of what they're doing and how they're beginning to search online.
Well, Carly has a follow-up question for you. She says, and any additional social best practices that you can recommend, Andrew?
As it pertains to fixed operations, I think, the big thing there is if you're going to be in social media, have someone that's going to engage and be a part of that conversation. It's not a set it and forget it. There's various social media platforms. Google probably doesn't have one of the most robust, but obviously with Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. There's great ways to leverage content out there, and having I would say that when you get into those mediums, it's really important to understand what brand you want to quantify and what brand you want to put out there for your customers. But if you're going to engage in it and you're going to put a lot of work into it, make sure you stick with it and be willing to adapt to the evolving changes.
Ooh, I like it. All right, Carly, you got follow-up questions? We're here. Carly wrote in. Thank you. All right, Carly, thank you so much. All right, next question comes to you, and I really like this question from Tony. I even told him so. Tony says, do you suggest that a dealership has its own service website and then have links to it from the main website?
As a best practice for websites, I would say no. I think it's better to ensure that you're operating everything under one URL if you can. And customers don't think like we do in the industry. They think that I'm going to this dealership for anything that I need related to my car. You will see that conversions go down because you're basically, if you're driving customers to a certain site and then you're taking them away from that site, the credibility goes down, but also you should be driving traffic to the service portion of your website directly from service searches. I don't want to land on used car inventory if I search for a brake job, for example. So making sure that you're making as minimal amount of barriers to get the customer information as well as it related to their search as possible is always going to drive the most conversions for you on your website. So try and keep it in there, be creative, have landing pages that are service related. I mean, I keep saying make sure you're looking at your service landing pages the way you look at a VDP of your used cars, and think about what information's on there and how that could apply to service.
Okay, thank you so much. Great question, Tony. All right, next one isn't so much a question, I think. It's more of a statement. This one came in from Michael. He says, 95% of dealers or general managers have really no experience hands-on working in fixed operations. NADA's Dealer Academy affords 2 sessions for dealer candidates to learn hands-on fixed operations management, but the mind share of general managers predominantly resides in variable operations and their familiarity growing up in the sales department. Now, I am not from NADA, but a past GM dealer attendee of the Academy 30 years ago. Prior worked in parts, body shop, and service. It is a fact majority of dealerships' net profit centers are 80% in the fixed ops, dealerships' monthly net profit. Okay, what has Andrew experienced when adding more service content getting the most engagement, videos or links? Okay, so that was a long background to it, but the basic question, Andrew, is when you add all that stuff onto the website, what content on the fixed operations portion of a dealership website do you believe is most important and will get the most engagement? What will do the biggest bang for the buck?
I think to keep it simple, let's just look at the example of an oil change and plug in your brand. So let's just say Ford Flex oil change, right? So if I do that search query and I would land on your website, it would be very important to have a offer. And again, offers do not mean discounts, but having an offer there that explains the service, how it's going to work, and have it all top of the fold. People want to see, if they look for that, they're basically looking for how much it costs. So having that information there, making them not scroll, and imagine them doing it on a mobile device, having some unique selling points about your service department and or factory maintenance, and then having some video content either produced by your dealership or by the manufacturer that talks about the extent of why oil changes are important and why it's important to use factory if it's Ford Motorcraft fluids, for example. So I think, so to recap, have an offer that's compelling. Offers don't mean discounts. Have some content of your unique selling points, and then have a video that relates to why this is important, and maybe even show how it's done.
I like it. All right. Michael, you got a follow-up question? We're here for you, sir. All right. Next question comes to you from Ryan. And he says, how important is it to tag the location and dealership name? And can you talk about tagging your videos and how many tags you should have? So Ryan's all about the tagging. So how do we do this tagging thing?
So, you don't want to over tag, but you also want to make sure the tags that you're putting in there are relevant to what people are looking for. So location is a big driver of if you're going to do any type of advertising, where those videos would be at. But if you're a Ford dealer in the Bay Area, having a tag of Ford Bay Area auto dealer would be important. And also don't ever forget to look at the general tags as well, because the algorithms are always looking to drive relevancy to search results. So if it is more based, if the search is more skewed on video for the location of a product or service, that tag will be important. But if it's about a product, you certainly want to have it there. But you also want to be careful that if somebody's looking for a Honda Accord, you're not tagging a Honda Accord video with Honda Pilot, Honda CR-V, Honda Civic, because that's not relevant to that information. So, think about anything that could impact the customer in the funnel as they're searching for that video, and then make it relevant. Relevancy is the biggest thing that drives your best results.
All right. Thank you so much. Great answers. Ryan, if you have a follow-up question, please send them in. We're going to be closing out the show soon. No, Ryan says thank you. All right. Here we go. Last couple of questions for you. Ryan says, are you in a hotel?
I am in a hotel. I can see a lot of hotels.
He's a traveling man. All right. Let's keep going. We got about 4 questions left. Okay. Carly writes in, is it necessary or of value to have separate parts and service digital budgets? What should that split look like, if so?
Carly, great question. And I would say if you want to capitalize on the market, the more that you can segment and understand what's going on, that is awesome. The recommended percentage, I would say from a parts perspective, it depends if you're doing more retail focused, are you wholesale focused, are you, how does that work in your dealership mix? I've seen stores that do a phenomenal job of advertising their body shop, and as a result of having a really progressive body shop advertising strategy, their parts department does pretty well. So, I would say that again, it's crawl, walk, run. If maximize your service and your best service that converts the best, maximize that opportunity first, and then move into understanding which parts you sell the most of. And you don't want to put dollars behind things that are going to continue to sell, but if you need some more awareness about how to get maybe some more, letting the public know that you can come in and buy an oil change and filter, that may be something that could be important as part of your fixed operations search strategy. So there's not a ton of data out there that, there is, it hasn't been formally analyzed to make it consumable yet, and we are working on that, so I'd be happy to share that with you once we get that content. And hopefully we'll do more of these so we can share more of this information.
Oh, I would love that. All right, Carly already wrote in, please. All right, next question comes in from Lori. Lori says, within the services offered by dealerships, what are the most searched ones? Oil changes, changing tires? Ooh, great question, Lori.
So the biggest thing that we're seeing, and it does vary a little bit by manufacturer, but not much, oil changes, brakes, batteries, and battery queries from mobile devices, because usually somebody's battery's dead. They're like, okay, what do I got to do? I would say those three drive a lot. You see a lot of what I'll call just general service searches. So Subaru dealership near me, or Subaru service dealership near me. And then on top of those, if you focused on those three categories, let's say brakes, tires, and oil changes, for example, you have to think that on top of those, you have to layer in your brand plus every model combination. So, for example, your dealership may have more Toyota Camrys in operation than Tundras. So your search queries for Toyota Camry brakes may be much higher than that of Tundra brakes. So it does play into the volume and what people are looking for in the market. So you may want to put more investment behind the Camry model line searches for oil changes or brakes than you would with Tundra, but Tundra may be a good one to spend more money on tires. Does that make sense?
Okay. It makes sense to me, but okay, so her second part of the question was, what should that split look like? So, is it really, is it like 50-50 or?
Percentages are at where you want to drive your business goals. For us to be able to say, hey, this percentage is exactly what you should do, I think that's the same thing as saying, what percentage should we make on every vehicle that we sell? And they're just two different conversations. And it's a great question, but I believe that you have to optimize towards what your conversion goals are, and if your conversion goals are to drive, more brake job ROs, okay, what does the digital marketing strategy look like that? And again, crawl, walk, run. Try one. Don't layer in a bunch, because you're going to go data dumb on it, and you're going to be like, we have all this stuff going on, and we ran out of budget, and I don't know what's being effective. Put $1,000, put $500 into a brake service campaign, and monitor it daily and watch what's converting, and play around with stuff. You can change this stuff literally in minutes if you think it's spending too much money, if it's not spending enough, or if you put $500 and you're like, oh my gosh, we had our best month so far and it's the 15th on doing brake jobs, let's throw another $500 into this because it's been really good work. And you need to evaluate the ROI on that as well.
Okay. Lori, great question. Thank you so much. All right, last couple of questions and then we'll close out the show. Tristan wrote back in. Hey, Tristan. She says, our use of the display network has really been hit or miss. We would welcome more direction on that with Google, as well as remarketing. Food for thought, Andrew Diffenderfer, for maybe the next presentation you do.
Yep. And just a little note right there is display is important. It's a impression based. You don't want to get too caught up in much of the click cost on that, but it's important to understand what you're getting and really understand what your creatives look like. You have the ability to put fantastic creative throughout the Google Display Network, and it's not a set it and forget it. It's what do your banners look like for your new cars in the spring versus in the winter? Do you live in an area where seasonality impacts do palm trees on a display ad make sense if you live in Denver, Colorado? Things like that. So make sure that this type of stuff is, you're controlling everything you can control, and then begin layering in, how much you want to skew towards retargeting. And make sure you're looking at, your locations on that stuff too. You don't want, somebody in the West Coast looking at your display ads if they live on the East Coast. So make sure you have your geos locked down so you're getting the most effectiveness out of those campaigns.
I love it. All right, thank you so much. And last question of the day is from Carly. Oh, Tristan says, right on, we have that geo-targeting, that's all. All right, Carly wrote in, do you see an overall higher conversion rate for one type of ad extension over another? Ooh, what do you think, Andrew?
If you look back in that presentation, I would say that they're all very similar, and there's no exact number. I think your call extent, because I look at goals, and goals at a dealership versus what we would count as a goal at Google are a little different. So if somebody clicks, for example, your dealership address, that's counted as a conversion from that location extension, for example. But a more valuable extension to a dealership, I believe, is that call extension, especially from a mobile device, right? Because that's doing, hey, the click that you did on the ad, that's a goal for Google, but you're getting to speak to the customer. So I think location extensions are really important, but I also think that if you're going to really look at something, make sure you have all your call extensions activated, and please make sure if they're activated that if somebody's searching for service that it goes to the service department, and if it's for a new car search it goes to the new car department. A lot of times you see it goes into a general bucket, and these customers get bounced around on the phone tree for 5 minutes and then they abandon the call. So I could argue that sales calls, if somebody's calling about a lease payment on a $150 a month Civic, then they should be rung directly to a sales consultant, and because I know that's what I would want, and that conversion would be much higher at the dealership. And if they're calling about an oil change, that should go to a service advisor. And I know that isn't a perfect world, but I think the place you start is making sure departmentally those calls are going to the right place, because the conversion will be much higher.
I love it. And Carly wrote back in. She says, thoughts confirmed. Phone is still vital. Thank you. Absolutely. All right. Andrew, it was such a pleasure to have you on. Audience, thank you so much for the great questions. And Andrew, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but I really do hope you come back and do another webinar with me sometime soon. You were wonderful.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for hosting, and thank you everyone for taking time out of your day to be here. We certainly greatly appreciate it. Hope to see you guys when I'm out on the road.
I love it. Fantastic presentation. Tell all your friends about it. I got to remind all the audience members a link to download a copy of this webinar recording. I'm going to be emailing it out to you in just a few hours, so check your email for that. And please feel free to share it with your friends and colleagues. Today's webinar is also going to be posted online within 24 hours. All you have to do is go to DealerOn.com/webinars, and there you can view our upcoming webinar schedule, and you can access any of our past webinars too. Hey, at the conclusion of this webinar, in just a few minutes, you're going to get a short survey. So fill it out, because we're always looking for great feedback from your audience. We want to know what you thought of today's presentation, so please let your opinion be heard. The survey is very short. It's 6 questions, but it means a lot to us. We really appreciate it. Also, DealerOn is going to be hosting another Top Golf event. This time it's going to be in Dallas, Texas, Wednesday, October 5th. It is Goof, it is Google, it is cocktails. It really just doesn't get any better than that. So please, this is a recipe for awesomeness you just can't miss. If you'd like to know more information about this event, check out the tinyurl.com/TG Dallas webinar. Oh, and yeah, it's free. That's right. So please, there's no reason to not come. Just come to Dallas, Texas, October 5th. We hope to see you there. And invitations will be going out tomorrow for our next DealerOn webinar. Oh, I am so looking forward to this one. Lead handling like a rock star. Have you ever asked yourself why more internet leads aren't turned into buyers in your store? Do you want to know how to handle internet leads like a rock star? When it comes to learning about the best lead handling strategies, we called in an automotive rock star to show us the way. Bobby Heron has been putting dreams in driveways for over 15 years. She's ready to share all. In this captivating and fast-paced 1-hour webinar, attendees will learn when, how often, and which kind of follow-up to use for maximum results, how the source of an internet opportunity can guide you on how to engage that buyer and how to get them to respond to you, and the most effective ways to handle a lead that asks no questions yet still turn that opportunity into a sale. And to close out this hour of awesomeness, Bobby is also going to share 3 immediately implementable items for each department in your dealership that are proven to increase sales today. Best of all, her suggestions won't cost you a dime. This presentation is only for those ready to dominate their market, close more leads, and reap the huge benefits that await. All others need not apply. Whether you're a salesperson, internet manager, sales manager, or general manager, don't miss this chance to hear from one of the brightest stars of the automotive industry today. If you're ready to learn lead handling like a rock star and make big money, then you just can't afford to miss this webinar. So register now. And don't forget, DealerOn's weekly webinars are held Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific. We have some incredible webinar subjects planned to close out 2016, but if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions about our webinars and our topics, feel free to contact me directly. Again, my name is Eliana Raggio, and I'd love to hear from you. And I'm everywhere. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, Google+, you name it, I'm on all the automotive social networks. You can track me down online, or you know what? Just email me directly at eliana@dealeron.com. Thank you all so very much for spending this time with us today, and I hope to see you all on another webinar in our continuing education series. Take care.